sliding in like I'm Chris Collins. We're still on time, though.
Beats the buzzer.
Like OG Anunoby.
I was going to say like the Casey Mize deal, but that works too.
Are we upset that it took us less than a minute for me? Come on, I haven't seen yet. Get that off of here.
All right.
I literally just said I haven't watched SummerSlam Night 2 yet, and I looked down and you got Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins just going on the big screen.
They're running the recap package.
On what? On ESPN right now?
No, on Raw.
Oh, okay. Is it 8 o'clock? Oh, yeah, it's 8 o'clock.
It is.
You know what that means?
What does that mean?
Welcome to SportsNight here on WBRE, WYOU 2822 SportsNight. I am joined tonight by Nate Johns, our amazing intern out of Penn State University, and the incredible Ricky Turner, as always, sitting on the sports desk and taking my job, looks like, as well. Is Ricky the 2822 sports director now?
Oh.
He is.
Oh, I forgot it.
It's all right, Ricky. You can have it, brother. You can have it, okay? It's all yours. All yours.
Oh,
Been a busy afternoon, and I say Nate Johns is an amazing, amazing intern, and one of the reasons why I say that is because I got to spend the last couple of afternoons with Nate over at the Little League field at Jenkins Township Little League, and I will tell you this kid is, one, he's a sponge of knowledge when it comes to the 12-year-old All-Star tournament that's been going on, and two, the amount of respect this guy gets as he walks around like he's the only one who walks more like the Godfather is my man Bob Bertoni. He's the only one, and he is the Godfather, so I understand that. But no, Nate, I gotta tell, slide a little other way, all right there. There you go. Nate, I gotta tell you, man, the knowledge, the back and forth that you've been able to provide, and the ability to make me look good on the news at the same time. Cheers to you. Deserves a toast, absolutely.
I appreciate that a lot.
And it was a big game today, huh?
Yeah, there was. The game one of the championship series between Eastside Little League, who fought their way through the losers bracket, taking down Blue Mountain 8-2 today to force a winner-take-all championship game tomorrow at Township Field at Jenkins Township Little League.
Coach Corey Perino. And
the winner set to head to the Mid-Atlantic Region Tournament. We got some of the highlights from the game.
All right,
Looks
Nate.
like Friday between Blue Mountain and...
Yeah, this is Fridays. It's all right. It's all right. Good for Blue Mountain. They got the win on Friday. All right, Nate. We'll get that going. Don't worry about that. I appreciate the play-by-play and everything. But, no, when we were out there, one of the things you said to me as we were in between live hits is Blue Mountain's got their aces still in the hold-up. They got two aces up their sleeves in their pocket for tomorrow. So, that being said, break down the pitching matchup for tomorrow.
Yeah, so on the Blue Mountain side, they didn't go with the first two pitchers, the two pitchers they used in the first game, in the first winner's bracket game against Eastside. I believe that was Wednesday. And they held off on Chase Goodman. They held off on Anthony Ciccone tonight. Those are the two that we're expecting to go for Blue Mountain tomorrow. Ciccone started the game, did pretty well for himself, only gave up 2 runs about 4 or 5 innings, and then Goodman pitched maybe the final 2, gave up 2 solo shots in the 6th inning, which made it a little bit closer. The final score for that one was 6-4. And then the question for Eastside, Ryan Donnelly pitched today. So that's sort of the question of who's going to go tomorrow. Donnelly was the ace. Darren Molyneux threw today. Don't know if he's going to be available to pitch tomorrow. So some questions about who Eastside's going to throw out, but when the offense is hitting as much as they are, you might not need to worry about it as much.
What was the pitching matchup? Do you remember what it was for the opening game? What was the pitching matchup when Eastside played Blue Mountain earlier?
Ciccone started that game, and Goodman came in and pitched. I want to say it was Warner who pitched for Eastside, so could see him on the bump tomorrow.
Okay. And then it was Ciccone, you said, who pitched for...
Yeah, Ciccone started.
Yeah, and you said he went, 4 1/3 or something like that?
Around 4 innings, and then Goodman pitched the definitely pitched in the 6th. I can't remember if he entered in the 5th or not. With the pitching limits that they have, it's always interesting to try and figure out because you have guys that can throw 65 and then they get taken out, guys that are throwing 85 and then they have to rest for 3 days. So in a tournament like this where Bob Bertoni told us today, it's constantly getting disrupted by weather.
Yeah, it's going to be the 9th day of the tournament coming up tomorrow. This is something that started last Sunday.
Yeah, Media Day last Sunday.
Media Day last Sunday and the banquet and all of the celebrations. We are 9 days into this tournament. Basically, I mean, you have 8 teams, 9 days. You could have played every team once over the last however many days.
Yeah, this tournament originally, when the bracket came out, was supposed to end on Sunday, but then as things kept getting pushed back, Sunday was supposed to be the if game. So this tournament, theoretically, when it started, could have been over
On Saturday, yeah.
So that obviously didn't happen. You had the rainouts Tuesday. You got 3 games in on Wednesday, but then you couldn't get the last one in, so you had to push that to Thursday. And here we are 9 days into the tournament. And Phil Shaner, who talked to us on Friday, former WBRE sports director, mentioned how Tuesday is the latest that they are able to go. And thankfully, as Josh said on the 6 o'clock news, which hopefully everybody watched.
And hopefully Josh is right. I mean, hopefully because I'm pretty sure when I worked on Saturday, Val had lightning bolts all over every day, Sunday through Saturday. So I was worried about it, but.
Yeah, but the powers that be in Bristol that are running the Mid-Atlantic Region Tournament have given them until Tuesday.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, when does the Mid-Atlantic have to start up?
I believe their first game is on Saturday, so they don't have to technically report until Friday. So the good thing for whoever ends up winning is you're going to have a full pitching staff ready to go for your first game Saturday. We talked about it on Friday, how Pennsylvania typically produces the Little League World Series representative from the Mid-Atlantic.
If it's not New Jersey, yeah.
Yes.
If it's not Tom's River.
Yes, if it's not Tom's River, New Jersey. This is an East Side team that won the age bracket 9-11 last year, and they've ran through some of the best teams in the state. They beat Hollidaysburg. They took down Newtown Edgemont to get to this point. So a lot of big wins and a lot of big-time situations that this East Side team has had to run through. But Blue Mountain has been able to mostly avoid those outside of having to play Newtown Edgemont on Saturday, who were one of the tournament favorites. Beat them 9-2.
Yeah, and again, I mean,
barely an inconvenience.
They've beaten this East Side team once before as well. So it's not something that the boys from Blue Mountain don't believe that they couldn't do. So checking the 2822 Future Alert app. Is that the right
Future Alert weather app?
Yes. Is that how what I'm supposed to call it? Because I cannot get any of these right.
No, I
Will
think that
you
one-
take that down?
I was closing the tab.
I think you got that right.
Well, I guess I know who won the match. Seeing Roman's out there with the belt on.
Maybe it's a fake belt.
Well, more you know.
I avoided spoilers for I couldn't. First of all, I couldn't watch ESPN. Literally couldn't watch it because they were. Since when does ESPN lead Sports Center with SummerSlam?
I was gonna say that's where I was getting a lot of the updates
Yeah,
from
it's
just scrolling through ESPN.
I had to turn everything off. I'm trying to make sure that Francisco Lindor is still a Met.
Well,
and
he is.
thank God. Thank God. And meanwhile, all I'm doing is trying to avoid WWE spoilers. Made it all the way to 8:12 p.m. And then you bring up a tab and there's Roman Reigns strutting around with the belt. Listen, I'll put my one up. I'm putting my one up, okay? Oh, you're lucky you only have 5 days left, Nate.
Yeah, after this 5 days left.
Might only be one after. No, tomorrow is too busy to not have you helping out.
Yes.
Tomorrow's
extremely
crazy, man. All right, we're going to take a little break here. We got a lot to talk about because, yes, tomorrow is a crazy day. We have Lackawanna Conference Media Day. We have Landmark Conference Media Day. We have a greater Pittston area American Legion team who's headed to Mid-Atlantic Regionals. We have the Pennsylvania State Championships happening here tomorrow. Not to mention the Rail Riders are back in town, winners of 7 in a row and sitting in first place. The Crosscutters are in town, winners of the first half, trying to hold on to see who they're going to be hosting the championship game against. We got regionals in a week. We got high school football starting up in less than a week. We got Williamsport in 2 weeks.
The 19th?
I got my credentials for the MLB Classic game. I'm working something like 29 of 31 days in the month of August.
Dang.
Yeah. Let's take a little break. We'll be right back here, WBRE, WYOU 2822 Sports Night. I mean, I don't want to just recycle everybody else's take and do all of the moaning and complaining that everyone else has been doing, but this isn't fair. Like, even as a Mets fan, it's like, it's not fair. But what I will say, the thing that I'm bothered more by it is the fact that Major League Baseball is using this as a way to say, see, this is why there's going to be a strike. This is why it's not us. It's not the billionaires who can't figure out how to spend our money wisely or not be so greedy that we don't want to pay anybody. So we're just going to let all of the money come in and not put it back in the team. It's not our fault. It's the Dodgers' fault. It's their fault.
No, it's the Tigers' fault.
I do agree. I do agree that, like, if you're the Tigers, you just gotta be like, no, we're not picking up the phone if LA calls. Like, we'll give him to anybody else, but if the Dodgers call, just let it keep ringing.
I blame the Brewers as well. How do you not match that? Because let's actually take a look.
It's not the greatest deal in the world. Yeah.
No, it's not a good return. And I get it. He's a rental, and he's going to sign with the Dodgers anyway, so he's a real rental for everyone else that's getting him. But look at what they gave up. A soon-to-be 28-year-old in River Ryan, who has an injury list with his elbow as long as Joel Embiid's, and that's saying something. A pitcher in A-ball who has okay stuff, but lacks a professional win, and Zaire Hope, who is the fourth best outfielder on the Tulsa Drillers, who have one of the most loaded outfields of all time. You're
an expert on the Tulsa Drillers outfield?
No, I'm an expert at looking at MLB.com's prospect rankings and seeing that's where all the Dodgers outfield prospects are, and looking at the Phillies having 3 hits against the Nationals. That's lovely.
I mean, I agree. I do agree, though. At this point in time and the way that it's set up, like, you have to get something for Skubal. They couldn't not make a move. They had to get rid of him. They knew that they weren't going to be able to re-sign him. They knew that they were going to be parting with something that they probably weren't going to get fair value for, knowing that the entire league basically knew that this was, like, again, you can't, it's hard to get fair value, you know? At least when other situations have happened, you know, it's been like, oh, well, he could resign, or, you know, even Guzman. You know, I still think at the end of the day, that's a rental, and you'll see Kevin back in Toronto next year.
I mean, it's possible.
I really, really do. I see him still signing back in Toronto next year. And, but that said, I mean, the Tigers had no leverage. The Tigers were going to have to accept a package that wasn't full trade value. But if that's the case, if you know you're not going to be able to get the best deal out there for a 2-time Cy Young, you can't send him to LA. You just can't. Like, I get it that I don't know if it's collusion, because it's not really collusion.
There's no way to prove that it is.
But whatever you want to say that it is, if you're the Tigers, you can't. But here's the thing. You know why they would? Because as the Tigers owner, they want the lockout. They don't care.
Chris Ilitch
They
doesn't
want to
care.
sell, yeah.
Huh?
Chris Ilitch doesn't care.
Yeah. They okay, cool. The Dodgers got better. Let them win 3 in a row, lock them out. We'll figure out something.
Which is really ironic for the Tigers, considering in Mike Ilitch's last 5 years of ownership, they spent like crazy. I mean, remember Verlander, Scherzer, the Prince Fielder contract,
Yeah.
Miguel Cabrera's extension. The Tigers traditionally have spent to try and keep their homegrown stars
And
with Mr.
I find it hard to believe with any of these teams when they come out and say we just can't afford to keep these people. It's just hard for myself to believe that you can't figure out a way to pay these people when the Dodgers are deferring contracts left and right and, are not being taxed at, the luxury tax because, Shohei's only making $2.4 million or whatever it is this year. Again, one of those deals that ended up with the Dodgers getting Mookie Betts is because the Boston Red Sox couldn't afford Mookie Betts. Come on, man.
Yeah, they're consistent. One of the top spending teams in the MLB as well. But yeah, this was it was one team again, and you probably did see this coming from a mile away. He was going to end up there.
I don't know if I saw that he was going to end up there.
It was one of baseball's worst kept secrets.
I think the Dodgers were interested in him. He was interested in the Dodgers. But again, and the Dodgers I think also knew, or I guess with the package that the Detroit Tigers accepted, that no other team was going to put together a respectable offer because they were under the inclination that he probably wasn't going to re-sign there, even if he gets traded to, a contending team.
Honestly, did the Mets get a better package for Freddie Peralta from the Rays than...
What do they end up getting there?
They
I'm
got
gonna say
three
no.
top... Here's the thing, though. They got 3 top 30 prospects from the Rays, and
That's a good system.
So
They
did
get-
that's the point, is that even
So's
the
Dodgers.
But even the guy who was 26th for the Rays, who the Mets got, he would be a top 10 prospect in like 28 or 25 other systems.
Yes, they got Aiden Smith, an outfielder. He was their highest ranked prospect at number 15 for the Rays. Emilian Petre, second baseman, number 27 in the Rays system, and number 26, Gary Gill Hill, starting pitcher, number 26. Yeah, 26.
So again, and I'm saying not and because of whatever the package was, but the Rays, the Rays are, I know how good the Dodgers are when it comes to their farm system and drafting and everything like that. But I still think the Rays probably have a better farm system than the Dodgers at this point.
Yeah, the Rays consistently have one of the best farm systems in the MLB.
And I honestly thought that the Mets were going to move. When I heard that they traded him to the Rays, I thought they were getting Wander Franco back in return.
Well, they got better than Wander Franco.
I'm just going to let that one sit for a second.
No.
I'm getting distracted looking at the top 100 prospects list very intentionally.
I
Yes,
got it.
because we all remember Wander Franco, who he
Yes.
is.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
Yes.
No longer in the MLB.
Is he a free man, though, I think? I think
don't
he
know
was
what's going
acquitted.
He took a plea. I want to say he took a plea deal.
Yeah,
They were trying to get him an exemption to play in some type of international tournament for the national team in the Caribbean.
that did not.
I don't think it worked.
No.
Thankfully.
Now, if he would have wanted to play for FIFA, I'm sure FIFA would have allowed it.
Depends who's making the phone call.
Ooh, I like that joke. All right, let's continue on. Scooble, Dodgers, pencil them in. I mean, it's just basically if you play the Dodgers in the playoffs or in the World Series, just know your best player will be a Dodger the next year. Dodgers played the Red Sox, and the next year, Mookie Betts is a Red Sox. Dodgers played the Braves in the NLCS, and the next year, Freddie Freeman is a Dodger. Dodgers play San Diego, and the next year, Blake Snell is a Dodger. Dodgers play the Rays, and the next year, Tyler Glasnow is a Dodger. I got to be missing another one. I know there's another one out there, right? Either way. Oh, not to mention they have the best position player in the history of Japanese baseball and the best pitcher in the history of Japanese baseball. And they also have Yamamoto.
Yeah. They've cornered the market in every conceivable way.
No. Notice I said that they have the best hitter in the history of Japanese baseball and the best pitcher in the history of Japanese baseball.
So, yeah, show.
And Yamamoto. Because that first guy's the same dude.
Yeah.
Like, come on. This is unfair.
This is crazy.
Well, that's why we, in all likelihood,
That's why they
they're
want a
probably-
lockout.
That's probably why.
Why we won't have baseball come 2027.
Get ready for the Cape Cod League and Virginia Baseball League.
That's right.
And the Crosscutters.
Yeah, let's go, Cutters.
Well, it's MLB Draft League, so
Actually,
yeah, they would also be locked out.
Yep.
yeah, sorry guys.
Yes, there would be none of that. No, they honestly might get called up and be on the scrub teams.
They're gonna do the replacement players.
Dude, how good is have you ever seen the Replacements, by the way, with Keanu Reeves?
I have not.
Oh, Ricky,
yeah,
it's good, isn't it?
yeah, it's solid.
Solid, thank you. All right, 8:25. Let's take a break real quick. When we get back, we'll talk Phillies. We'll talk Pirates, as they both also made moves at the deadline. Both moves I like, as well as that shores up some. I like Luis Ariz. I know you said they didn't address their needs, but I'm telling you, Luis Ariz is like George Hill.
We can get to it
No,
on
no,
the
no.
other side. I agree.
But Luis Ariz is the George Hill of Major League Baseball, and I will
The
explain
basketball
that.
player George Hill.
Yes, and I will explain my reasoning when we get back from this break
I was
right here on
curious.
WBRE WYOU 2822 Sports Night. All right, Ricky, you were going through it. List off the George Hill teams.
The Cavaliers, Pacers, Bucks. Who am I missing? Is it-
But there's a bunch,
The
right?
Spurs? No, the
Was he?
Pacers. No, this I'm thinking of because he got drafted and traded for Kawhi Leonard.
Okay, but either way, there's a bunch, right?
the Spurs. He started his career with the Spurs, then was with the Pacers.
He got drafted by the
Jesus.
Spurs.
Yes, drafted by the Spurs.
because he got flipped for Kawhi.
Okay. That wasn't the point. The point is that it's a bunch, right?
Yes.
Okay. The reason why I say that shoot, now I'm forgetting my train of thought because I'm trying to look up whether or not we
Luis
got anything.
Ariz.
Yes. Sorry, football's taking over. I'm looking up whether or not we got anything today from Philly training camp at the same time. Luis Ariz. Why he's the George Hill of Major League Baseball. Because George Hill's the type of dude, as I was telling you guys in the break, that when he gets traded, and usually gets traded like every trade deadline, no one pays attention. No one cares. No one thinks it's a big deal. But yet somehow, every year, whatever team George Hill is traded to usually ends up either in the conference finals or the NBA finals. And then by the next year, said team is tired of George Hill and trades him to the next one. Thus, Luis Ariz. Because everyone here is like, yeah, all right, Luis Ariz. Sure. He's a 3-time batting champion. Like, that used to matter. That used to be a thing. And I understand that they didn't address some of the major needs, but there's still the waiver period. There's still other ways that they can address. Yeah, there's the non-tender waiver deadline. I mean, you can make trades after the trade deadline. That's the funny thing in baseball is that you can still continue to make trades for like a whole nother month. It's just got to go through waivers.
Didn't they get rid of that?
I didn't think so. Either way, if they did, then you're smarter than I am. But Luis Ariz is a good player. And if you can have some guys on base in front of Harper, in front of Schwarber, in front of Marsh, it's going to get rid of some of the other issues that are presenting themselves, like unable to keep a lead.
I like the Luis Ariz move. I do not want it to come across like I don't like this move. It makes sense. It is, Ricky said it best. It's another good, not great trade deadline.
What would be a great trade deadline for the Phillies? What would have been a great trade deadline? other than Mike Trout? Because that was the only thing
No.
that I said would have.
I would.
That's what you should have been going after.
No.
I just don't think they would have given him up.
Not only they wouldn't have given him up, he doesn't
wouldn't
want to
wanna
leave.
leave.
All right, in a perfect world where he wants to leave, still don't want to take on that contract and that money. Not doing it.
All right.
The perfect deadline,
Especially with the salary cap coming up.
yeah.
Yep.
Well, maybe. The best move, just adding in another outfielder and a fifth starter.
So you wanted Joe Adell?
I'd prefer Taylor Ward. Adele's a bit too strikeout happy and a little bit streaky for my liking, and with this lineup, that could be a little dangerous.
Because
But-
that is your whole lineup with
Yes.
Harper and Marsh and Schwarber. Yeah.
The one thing about Arise, it's another lefty bat. They needed a right-handed hitting bat. And if you're going to push Harper's moving back to right field, which he hasn't done that in years, how is his arm going to hold up? There are concerns. It's still, like I said, too lefty heavy. And then for your fifth starter, Aaron Nola didn't pitch bad today. He only gave up 3 runs in 6 innings, gave 2 home runs, which is the Aaron Nola specialty, but it feels like you're putting too much trust into a group that hasn't shown they can do it. How are they going to rearrange the infield? Alec Boehm's going to go play first base. Bryson Stott's going to go to third. If you want to make it through in the playoffs, you're relying on these guys stepping up, and time again, they haven't.
And
So it just feels like half measures for a team that hasn't proven that they should be invested in or are worth trading prospect capital for. I'm not saying they should have sold, but this group is the same team from the last 4 years. They haven't won a playoff series in 2 of those.
no, and I mean, you see the teams that are successful at the end of the year. The teams that I say the teams. You see the Dodgers as they're the team that wins it every year, but no, the teams that traditionally are successful are the ones that at the deadline trade for a reliever, trade for defense, trade for depth. Yeah, very rarely do you make the splash move that completely changes the face of the division. I mean, again, you had Manny for sure a few years ago with the Dodgers. Wow, a few years ago.
Dodgers
Has
were-
it really been like 20 years since that trade
It's
happened?
been like 8.
No,
Yeah, it was 18.
it was 18 when the Dodgers traded for Manny.
Ramirez?
No,
Oh, man.
Machado.
Machado, yes.
No,
it was 2018.
I was talking about Manny Ramirez.
Oh.
Thank you. Yes. I was talking about when
I
the
was
Dodgers
right.
traded for Manny Ramirez, you young piece of. Yes, I was talking about when they traded for Manny and he could have won the MVP basically in the American League and the National League that year. Like he literally, if you took just his American League stats, I think he was top 5 in voting. And if you took just his National League stats, he was like top 3 in voting. Like, dude just had a ridiculous year. Yoenis Cespedes for the Mets in 2015. And that was a trade that wasn't supposed to happen. They were supposed to trade Wheeler and Flores to the Twins for Carlos Gomez, and that trade blew up, luckily. And the Mets had to go after their, I think actually third option, because I don't even want to say that Cespedes was their second option. They got Cespedes, and Cespedes had just an amazing, he was a Cespedes for the rest of us in 2015. You don't have that traditionally. A long time ago, the Astros traded for Randy Johnson, or the Brewers trading for CC Sabathia, who pitched every third day for like a month and a half. That was just ridiculous, by the way. You normally have, let me get some depth in the bullpen. Let me get a utility infielder that can play 2 or 3 positions that's speedy, a Dave Roberts like. Let me get
Corner outfielder. Or something.
yeah, exactly. So, I mean, those moves, as much as, it's not always the thing that the Philly media or the Boston media or the New York media wants to happen. It's the moves that are actually the smart moves that fly under the radar that get you to where you need to be. I do agree with you that Philly didn't address what gets you in trouble in the playoffs, because in the playoffs, you can't strike out. In the playoffs, you got to play good defense. In the playoffs, you have to be fundamental. So when you have guys playing out of position, when you guys
on a team that had already plays terrible defense.
and that's it's not a recipe for success when you go up against the Brewers or the Dodgers or the Braves come October.
Yeah, it goes back to the main problems the Phillies have had is that they didn't address anything in the offseason. They brought back the same team with the additions of Adolis Garcia and Brad Keller.
All right, let's head to the other side of the state, though, because Ricky's happy about his additions. Ricky's got a smile on his face, unlike Nate. Nate not loving the Phils moves. I don't know how I feel about the Mets moves.
They sold.
But they didn't
Everything must go.
Okay, but here's the thing. They sold, but they didn't sell. If they would have traded Lindor, if they would have traded some of the other pieces that were out there, it would have been a fire sale. They got rid of free agents. Other than Luke Weaver, who we're going to talk about here, who has 2 years under control, everyone else was going to be a free agent. They didn't get rid of the people that next year they're going to try to rebuild around.
Yeah, they kept the core together.
And that was what was the more concerning part on that end, is if they got rid of Lindor, then it's a whole new core. Because Pete Alonso and Jeff McNeil and Brandon Nimmo, that was the core, and they added Lindor to that. And they got rid of all of that because they said that it didn't win. Well, we see what they've replaced it with. Now, at least they still have Soto. They still have Lindor. I don't think they're going to hold on to Bichette long term. Honestly, I could see Luis Ariz being a Met next year. I could see Yandy Diaz, who's a free agent to being a Met next year. Eugenio Suarez, who's a free agent next year, being a Met next year. I could see those type of moves, which again aren't the splashy big names, but they're quality, solid players who are playing in position. You know, you're playing a second baseman at second base with Ariz. You're playing a first baseman at first base with Diaz, a third baseman, Suarez. I think that again, they didn't sell Luis Robert. Again, a guy that I would like to see them build around because they haven't had a center fielder in forever. So
I'd worry about building around AJ Ewing and Carson Bench.
I want them on the team, but I don't think you're not going to beat the Dodgers with AJ Ewing and Carson Bench right now. You're not. Now, if AJ Ewing and Carson Bench are on the team and they're playing and they're getting rotations, I'm fine with that. But I would like to see Soto. I would like to see Robert. I don't know. Give me Randy Arozarena. That would be a great pickup.
That would have been nice for the Phillies.
Give me that in the outfield and have Benj and Ewing there learning, coming in. Yeah, absolutely. I would be fine with that. That all said, we're only talking about the Mets now because they made a deal with the Pirates, and that's where we want to get to. So, Ricky, you tell me. It's 8:39. Should we get a break in here real quick and come back with the Pirates on the backside?
That's probably the best move.
Okay, so we're going to take a real quick break here, and when we come back, we're going to break down the Pirates as they are buyers at the trade deadline for a long time, for the first time in a long time, right here on WBRE, WYOU 2822 Sports Night. Ricky, what can you tell me about Sammy?
Sammy had like 14 home runs in July. He's been red hot ever since the Pirates traded for him last trade deadline. In return for Cabrian Hayes, who is now hitting below 150 or around 150 for the Reds.
But, so you can say you traded Brian Hayes for Luke Weaver then?
Yes, Cabrian. Yes, that has been the notion around Pirates fan base, and they're extremely happy for it right now.
Why are you smiling at me because the Phillies are up 4-3?
Oh, they came back? Weren't they down like 3-0?
Yeah.
They're playing the Nationals.
But yes, the Pirates.
The best offense in baseball, the Nationals. So, all right. So are you excited about the Pirates moves? Do you think that they answered the check the boxes that needed to be checked at the deadline?
For the most part, yes. They get their first move was actually a couple days ago, getting Camilo Duvall from the Yankees. Guy with great stuff, quote unquote, but the command isn't there. And away from Yankee Stadium, he was great. But unfortunately for him, in his first start as a Pirate, playing the Reds allows a home run. Then they get, I think, Jake Bakke from the Marlins, another guy with control, another guy who's pitched really, really well early in the year, fell off a little bit in July.
And anytime you trade for a Marlins pitcher, they seem to do much better once they leave the Marlins anyway.
Bakker.
Yes, that's his name. But yes, the Pirates. Yes, you got to be happy with what they've done now. Kirby Yates, not a great player from the Angels, guy who's aging, getting up there, but certainly an upgrade over what they had. And then, of course, it came out today in part that Mitch Keller, who is, a guy who struggled in the second half of the year, he is on the 60-day IL with a shoulder injury. So now he's going to be out of the lineup. It's expected that Carmen Ledzinski, who was pitching earlier in the year, gets his rotational spot back. And Ben Sherrington said, knowing that news, they didn't know that during the trade deadline. It played a part in why they went out and got 4 relievers.
Do you think they've done enough? Can they catch the Cubs? I don't
No.
think they can catch the Brewers, right?
I don't think they could catch the Cubs either.
So you're playing for the third wild card spot?
You're basically playing for the second or third wild card
Second or third
spot.
wild card
'Cause
spot.
Right now, I think you're 4 games out of that second one, 3 games out of that third one that the Phillies currently own. They're up 4-0 right now on the Brewers, so a good start. They get Spencer Horwitz back, who had a 3 RBI double, and it's just been it's been a certainly a needed rejuvenation to that bullpen. I still think they could have done with another outfield bat. They needed some they needed pitching to be able to hit left-handed hitting. That's why I wanted Taylor Ward. Tyrone Taylor even would have been a solid addition there with the Mets, even though they moved him. But yeah, overall for the Pirates, certainly their bullpen gets better. You're right now at this point just banking on players getting healthy. Spencer Horwitz getting healthy. You look at a player like O'Neal Cruz, hopefully getting healthy. Connor Griffin supposed to be ready towards the beginning of September as well. So the Pirates did what they needed to do bullpen, and they also get guys that they could use in the future, as you mentioned. Luke Weaver on a 2-year deal, and Jake Bakker, I think, also on a 2-year deal as well.
All right, Nate's got the standings there, had the standings up in front of me. If I would have told you guys at the beginning of the season, give me the wild card once again.
Back to the wild card.
That in the American League, the Chicago White Sox were in first place. Let alone, if you go to the National League, your NL wild card race right now is between the Padres, Marlins, Pirates, and Nationals. I kept them out of there for a reason. Stop trying to disprove my point. Again, though, at the beginning of the season, if I told you that the White Sox, Padres, Marlins, Pirates, and Nationals were all playoff contenders, you going to tell me that baseball has a problem with parity?
I would throw the Cardinals in there, too. Coming into the year, people thought they were going to stink.
Okay, but they have high payroll. You're not helping me with my point.
They
My
have
point
occasionally high
is that,
payroll.
again,
They're a small market team.
okay, cool. The Dodgers might win the World Series. I understand that. But you have the White Sox, the Marlins. All right, the Padres are a big spend a ton of money.
Yes,
but the Marlins, the White Sox, the Rays.
The Rays, I feel like, are good.
Like,
They're like sort of not like the
again,
I don't think anyone thought they'd be as good as they are.
yeah, definitely not as good as they are.
But my point is that these aren't. It's not as bad as baseball is making it out to be. It's not.
You're disproving their narrative.
They don't need to be making commercials saying blame the players. It's ridiculous that they're out there having fans be a part of these commercials saying, 80% of fans want a salary cap. I don't want a salary cap. I'm a Mets fan. I have no desire for a salary cap.
That means we don't have to sign Aaron Nola.
I have no desire for a salary cap. If I have Steve Cohen as my owner, why for any reason would I want a salary cap?
Well, if you're going to do it, you need to have a cap and a floor.
well,
because
yes, that is, I think, been the big.
I think a
argument.
floor would change things a whole heck of a lot more than a cap would. If you
I
have a
agree.
salary floor, I think a competition is a lot more even than a salary cap.
Yes, Well, that's
here's the
why
thing.
it's been Bob Nutting is my owner. I
Well,
would like some
guess what's
type of
you know
support.
guess what? Guess what sport had a salary cap and has always had a salary cap? Football.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Guess what
NFL.
sport is known for its dynasties?
Football.
Football. The 60s, the Packers. The 70s, the Steelers. The 80s, the Niners. The 90s, the Cowboys. The 2000s, the Patriots. The 2010s, the Patriots. The 2020s, the Chiefs. Sorry, there has been dynasties across every single decade in the NFL. I don't hear anyone not wanting to watch more NFL. I don't think any NFL fan would be upset if their team could spend more money on their team. It's ridiculous. Get out of here with this. Sure, the Dodgers won. Were we hearing any of this in the early 90s? You guys weren't alive. Never mind.
Well, I remember the
was when they
2000s. The Dodgers were known as the choke artists.
Yeah, the inefficient spenders.
The inefficient.
Yeah, because they were awful because their owners were going through a divorce and trying to kill each other, the McCords. Like, okay, the Mets have spent for years. They've been terrible for years. The Wilpons don't know how to spend. The problem is that the Dodgers are spending and know how to spend, and they're doing it well.
They spend with the front office of a small market team.
So other people need to do that. Like again,
I agree.
I don't blame the millionaires because the billionaires want more money. And the fact that they're going to turn the fans against the millionaires because how many times do we need to stand up for big business billionaires? Like, come on with this.
I mean, you're kind of in this situation. It's millionaires versus billionaires, so you're kind of doing that either way. You're either standing up for the players that are making hundreds of millions of dollars to play baseball, or the owners who are making billions of dollars off of the backs of that. So
I'm standing up for the dudes that are actually talented enough to play, not the owners that are just paying them, who most of them got their money because mommy and daddy made that money and they inherited it. Because I don't know how many owners are self-made billionaires anymore, because that just doesn't happen.
Generational wealth.
Yeah, it's called generational wealth at this point in time. So, all right, I see the
just got to get one more in.
All right, let's go ahead. We're going to take one more break. We haven't talked about football at all.
That's right. We're in the last 10
Good for
minutes of the
us.
show.
Should we?
we can talk about
Might
high
as
school
well.
football.
All right. When we come back, we'll hit the NFL. Nittany Nation as well. Penn State starting up this week. And high school football just 6 days away. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. WBRE, WYOU 2822 Sports Night. I kind of want to see if we can make it the whole show. Dude, we got stuff we can talk. Rail Riders have won 7 straight. In fact, yes, we're going there. We're going there. Rail Riders have won 7 straight, and we talked all day on Friday about what Rail Rider we wouldn't see anymore after the trade deadline, and I'm actually very surprised that LaGrange, Lombard, and
Elmer Rodriguez
and Spencer Jones are all back.
I was pretty surprised as well. They didn't have to give up any big name.
They didn't get the big name that they wanted, though. That's the thing.
Got some
Ooh,
solid.
they didn't get it. They didn't get anything that they wanted.
I
Yankees
liked-
Twitter is not happy.
No.
today.
But Yankees Twitter's never going to be happy, though. I mean, there's nothing the Yankees could do. The Yankees could re-sign Derek Jeter right now, and they wouldn't be happy about it. I don't know if I would be either. I don't think he could the range at shortstop is there anymore. But
It's like when they asked Jordan if they could still beat. I forget who it was. If they could still.
No, they asked
like
Jordan.
an NBA
They asked Jordan do you think that you and Scottie Pippen and your 5 could beat the 72-9 Warriors or 73-9 Warriors or whatever they finished with, and he said, "Yeah, it'll be a close game. We'd probably win only by like 5 points." And they're like, "You think you would only win by 5 points?" And Jordan's response is, "Yeah, man, we're all in our 50s now. I'd still take Jordan over him. I'm never betting against Jordan. I mean, I don't listen. Although I'm never betting against Steph either. So that's.
He's 55. When he said that, he was.
I know. I know. And Jordan at 40 did not look great in the NBA.
No,
either.
Jordan also-
Although he did average like 19 points or something like that
he
at
was
age
solid,
40.
but
So he was
again,
solid. Yeah.
Took in a lot of cigars.
Yeah,
Liked his alcohol.
Dude, I don't know what's up with my algorithm, but I've been overloaded with replays of the Steph game against France from last year.
Olympics,
Yeah,
yeah.
dude, he was so. Tells you how good he is. Kevin Durant has the ball, and he looks to his left, and it's a wide open LeBron James, and then he looks to his right, and it's a double team Steph Curry. And he goes, "All right, I'm gonna give the ball to Steph," and LeBron goes, "Yeah, I would have done the same thing." Like, what? All right.
Speaking of incredible,
The 7 straight wins by the first place Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders.
Yeah,
know it.
The half game lead that they have on the Durham Bulls right now. How many games we got left? We're in August right now, right?
That math is
Go
beyond
do
my-
the calendar view. Don't do the list view. You're shooting yourself in the foot, my friend.
There we go.
I mean, basically, how many games are in September? Do they play in September?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I know they play in September, but how deep do they? You got too many pop-ups. Got about a month left. Let's say about a month, 6 weeks left of the season. Rail Riders sitting in first place, half game up on the Durham Bulls. 6-game homestand now against Rochester. Do they have the pitching matchups for the first game?
Let's find out.
I mean, this team's been red hot. You know, we talked to Shelly Duncan a little bit at the start of the second half, and he said, yeah, we got to just a couple things here, a couple things there. And, you know, we got to just go out there each night, concentrate on that game.
42 games.
And guess what? They got their ace on the mound on Tuesday night as Brendan Beck is going for win number 9 on the season. The 3-time MILB Pitcher of the Week, the 1-time MILB Pitcher of the Month. I mean, they say you're only as hot as your next day's starter. Well, guess what? He's the hottest pitcher in the league.
Yeah, he's been phenomenal. And again, it was their first trip to Iowa in a decade, and they read a lot.
No, first trip to Iowa since 1990.
Jesus. Yeah, like 35 years.
It's been a while.
And
Yeah, that got Ricky was shocked by that one.
They sweep Iowa, and then the
6 straight.
6 straight, and they come back home against Rochester, and they do lose a big bullpen piece in Yvonne Cruz, arguably their best bullpen piece there with Shelly Duncan. But outside of that, I mean, yeah, most of their roster is still intact. They keep all of their big name guys, and you're looking at this team right now, then they're the hottest team in the MILB.
And honestly, I don't see any of these guys outside of Spencer Jones being the guy that gets called up for September. Like these aren't gonna be the guys that make the difference for the Yankees in a playoff push.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Spencer Jones may have to be up just because everyone's hurt. You got no Judge, no Stanton, no
Bellinger.
Yeah, I mean, so Judge or Jones may be a part of the playoff roster if there is a playoff roster and September roster, because what other options that you have? I mean, I guess maybe Lombard Jr. might as well if Volpe keeps playing the way that he's playing, as terrible as he is.
There were rumors 10 days ago when they were in Philadelphia that Lombard was going to get potentially called up. That obviously didn't happen.
Yeah, so I mean, outside of that, I mean, I don't see LaGrange coming up for the playoffs. I don't necessarily see Rodriguez coming up for the playoffs. So this team for Scranton Wilkes-Barre is likely intact for an August playoff push.
Yeah, they really are, and that's scary. Because, again, this team made a great run last year, obviously getting to the MILB championship, and they have the makings to do it again, as we have just 15 seconds here left in show.
And we have the makings to do. I was wondering when you were going to say that. Yeah, we have the makings to do it again tomorrow night. Don't go anywhere. We will be back tomorrow night as the PA State Championships wrap up as well. We'll see you on 28-22 Sports Night.